Hello everyone, welcome. I wanted to bring to you guys today, I wanted to talk about, okay, so there's a video that I made maybe about a month back about housing costs in the Gambia and how prices of everything are going up and stuff like that. So I got a few comments on that video and I responded, but there was one comment that I responded to, but the thought or the comment wouldn't leave me, right? It's this gentleman who commented that the reasons for house increase is because with the diaspora, we come here and we just accept the cost of housing. We just accept whatever the landlord say to us and we don't negotiate. What can we do? Whatever they ask for. And when I went back and I keep thinking that the statement stayed in my mind and in my heart, and I kept thinking, I'm like, what does he mean? I mean, that's their house, it's their houses, they have full control over whatever they ask for their houses and stuff like that. But when as I said before, I'm a thinker. And most times I do that before I make a big purchase. I would go home and sit down and think about it. Do I really need this thing? Do I really need this thing? What can I do? Should I ask? You understand? Should I look around? I don't just make decisions on a whim, right? So with that comment, I went back and I thought about it, and I was like, oh my goodness. It was like a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had to comment and share that with you guys. I'm going to look for a gentleman's name so I can say exactly who it is. And when he said it, I was thinking, but what can we do about their prices? There's nothing we can do. They are targeting us with the pricing, and when we come, what else can we do but agree to pay the monies that they're asking, right? So I'm going to go back to the comments, and I'm going to mention the guy's name. Okay, his name is Mula Mal Branch. Mula Mal Branch. Please, if I pronounce your name incorrect, my apologies. I'm very sorry, sir. But I really wanted to go back on that comment. He said diasporans need to get negotiate. Okay, he means you need to negotiate and partner with locals when looking for homes. Once you show that you'll buy at any cost, then it's over. So when he said that, I was like, what do you mean? I said, in some instances, negotiating may work, but everyone sees our coming as a chance to raise prices and everything to make money, That's why there's a Gambian price and a foreigner price as they see it, as they say it. I understand it because it's a natural response to the exodus, but then it also affects those who are already here who can't afford it. So me responding was, I understand what you mean, but it's what they're asking for. Is that what I said? In some instances, you can negotiate. But it never crossed my mind that in negotiating for everything else in the Gambia, people negotiate for food, you negotiate on food, you negotiate on clothing, you negotiate on everything. Everything you buy, there's room for negotiation. Why isn't there room for negotiation in housing? Right? And when I think about it, the more I think about it, I realize that it's because when we are in North America, wherever we are coming from, and we hear or we heard, before we came, we heard the house prices in the Gambia, we said, what? I pay for that, for a house for a month. I pay $5,000, or I pay $3,000, or I pay $2,000, and I'll be able to pay for an entire year for a house that's even more beautiful in the Gambia. I'll be able to pay that same money for an entire year. Are you kidding me? And our eyes light up. Our eyes light up, and we were like, what? For an entire year, I'll be able to pay. For an entire year, I'll be able to pay what I pay in North America. I should say Canada. My rent in Canada was $2,000 a month. An entire house, a 3-bedroom house. Beautiful 3-bedroom house. And I paid $2,000 a month. But that wasn't the initial. We got that price. We got $1,800 because my mother-in-law lived in that house. And when she was moving out, because her lease was not up yet, we took over the house. So we were able to get it at a very low price, which was $1,008. So a few months after we moved in, the landlord came to us and he said, oh, we're thinking we want to raise the rent because we know that we gave you guys that price because of my husband's mom, but we know we can get way more for the house and blah blah blah. It was us living upstairs, and there was tenants in the basement, and we said yes. But when we moved in, we told you that the reason why we took the house is because we didn't want to pay. We took the house because my mother-in-law was moving out, and she wanted us to cover her lease, which was not up, and we have no intentions of paying any more monies to live in that house. So he said, are you guys able to afford another $2,000? So he wanted us to pay, I think, $4,500. So we were like, no, we can't. In Canada, when you are living in a home, the landlord are not able to raise the prices of the home within that rent term. They have to wait for the next rent term when they're renewing your contract to raise their rent, and they can only raise it at a certain amount, right? To make a long story short, sorry, that fire engine. So to make a long story short, when we are in North America, what we say when we are looking at videos on YouTube, and we are doing our research and stuff, and we see how low cost of stuff are here, when we saw, not even see, because things have gone up so high that when we saw, although it's much lower than North America, again, I am saying that, but when we saw the cost and the prices of rent, sorry guys, I'm at the boutique, so a lot of noise, of house rent and so on, we were like, oh my goodness, for an entire year I could pay what I'm paying here for a month. So people watch YouTube, and with so many of us coming over to the Gambia, of course the landlords will say, oh, okay, so that means you guys can afford it then, so I'm going to rent my house for that amount. But then the locals will come and they will tell you that the amount that you are paying for the house is ridiculous, which is what this brother wanted to say, said in his comment, that we should partner with the locals to know exactly what, because they know what cost price rental pricing should be, and we should negotiate with the landlords. But what we didn't understand is that because of us saying how affordable it is because of what we pay in North America, then the landlords thought to themselves, okay, so you guys have money, you can pay for it, and they would put those ridiculous prices for rent prices, and we would come and we would just say, okay, no problem, I'm moving in tomorrow. When that thought came to me, I was like, are you kidding me? So it may seem, when somebody said that we are the cause of house pricing going up, to us it may seem like, what do you mean by that? You understand? We come, but then when you really think about it, we really are the cause of house prices going up, and the locals are not able to afford it. Now they can't even afford. Yes guys, so I had to go off for a minute to a customer came in, and I had to stop recording for a minute. But she was such a beautiful lady. She's from Ghana and she moved to Africa. She moved to Gambia 10 years ago. Wow, that's like I can't wait to be here for 10 years. So I could say I've been here for 10 years. Can you imagine? 10 years. So she got married to a Gambian and she's been here for 10 years from Ghana. So we are not the only ones living in beautiful countries to come to the Gambia. There's nothing wrong in the Gambia with the Gambia. It's beautiful here, but the peace that you get, it's everything. So the sand and the rough roads are nothing compared to the peace and happiness you could find and build here for yourself. Anyways, what was I saying? So yes, so it may seem like a bad thing, as I was saying, when somebody says the diasporans are the ones who are causing house prices to go up. And I think it is happening all over Africa. Well, not all over, but the places where the exodus is happening, like people are leaving the West and going to, which is like Ghana. I've heard how expensive Accra has gotten, and how house prices and so on have gone up, even way worse than in the Gambia. And so it's not only the Gambia that is happening.
I'm Vanessa Kanbi and I'm here in Osu in the heart of Accra, and I'm going to be talking about gentrification in Accra.
Accra we day, you know, we want to be here. We don't want to go far.
We represent Ghana.
We're always here, always ready. Back. They don't care. They can just tell you to pack out from this place. You don't have anywhere to go.
Right. When you go to the Nima market, you can buy your tomatoes 2 cedis, but also here you can buy it for 2 cedis. We sell like 5 cedis, 10 cedis.
Why?
Accra has been named the second most expensive city to live in the world based on property prices versus income ratio. And I'm going to be here with Fred. Come on in, Fred. And we're going to be asking the people of Accra what they think about gentrification. Right. Is it going on? So gentrification is when higher income people move into a lower income area and invest and live in that area, displacing the lower income people.
So more like those people who are moving from abroad, coming to Africa and settling down.
Yeah.
Because they come with money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
It could be them, but it could also be moving from one area to another area. So like you're moving from a high income area into a lower income area to patronize those lower prices, driving up the prices in that area and displacing the people that live there.
Right.
Most times when you think about, when you hear those things, people say those things, and you think about it, you be like, why would you say that? We just come and we get our place to rent and whatever. How are we the ones raising prices? But that's always the case. When you have migration, and to at that level that it has been happening, everybody's coming here, then that's what happens. The landlords begin to see an opportunity to make monies, and because we are not negotiating prices, we are not saying, we are all over YouTube talking about how affordable it is and so on, then they're like, okay, you guys have money, so you understand, and we cause prices to go sky high because the demand is higher, and now you have people coming into a poor country that is rich, so obviously things have to go up, so people can make monies, right? And yeah, so but I was thinking, with all this thinking and with all this thinking and with all this thinking, there's a solution. There is a solution. Who wants to hear the solution? How many of us wants a solution to what's going on? Because it's not just us who are complaining about landlords trying to take advantage of us with their house prices, because sometimes they rent out places to us, the diaspora, that are deplorable, in deplorable conditions, and they rent it out at a price that is unbelievable. And if you try and negotiate or you try and say anything about it, they'll you may not end up getting the place, or they'll try and go somewhere else because somebody else may want it if you don't want it. So what do we do in that instance? What do we do to help? So if we are complaining, much more so the locals, because what I begin to realize with all the prices going up, yes, before there was a foreigner price and there was a Gambia price, but it almost seems like there's no longer, when it comes to housing, that there's no longer Gambia price, that the prices for house rent, house cost is the same for everyone, right? So what do we do in that instance? How can we affect change, or how can we help? Because we can afford it, but the locals, it's getting tighter and tighter for them, and they're not able to afford it. So in all my thinking and in all my going over and over that statement and going over and over the solutions and what can be done, I was thinking that but what we can do, all jokes aside, what we can do is to begin to negotiate house pricing. For those of us who are coming, who are here and moving from one house to the next, we need to start negotiating prices with the landlords. Don't allow them to give us a price and just take it because we believe that it is cheaper than what we were paying over there. Some of us are here, we have no income coming in from over here. We have to try and make something here, right? So definitely you're gonna be still thinking, oh, it's cheaper than what we had over there. And even those of us who have some income coming from over there, right, from the West, it is still not the right way to think, because you are not the only one who's going to be affected. There are other people who don't have an income coming from the West. So what should we do? We should begin, those of us who are here and who are changing house and moving from house to house, we should put our foot down and say that we are not going to rent those houses for the amount of money that have been asked. Please, and if we can do that, we can help ourselves and the locals, more so the locals, because we may be able to afford it, but they can't. I have seen, because I always talk about going around with Mohammed, I have seen houses, 3-bedroom houses now, the landlords will put a rental price on it at 500,000, 550,000, a 4-bedroom in Gambia. And not only that, is that when you hear Gambians themselves saying that it is ridiculous because houses were never that price. Those houses were closed before we started moving. They were closed. They were not making any monies on them. So why not we are coming, that you guys are opening them up and are charging so much? And I know, as I said, it's our doing because we never negotiated prices. But I would plead with us, those of us who are here, when we are moving from the house that we are in to the next house, if that is our plan to move from where we are to the next house, or those of us who are here just house shopping, looking around for a rental, begin to negotiate with those landlords. Begin to put your foot down and say, no, this is too much money. It's becoming ridiculous. I know of a gentleman who's building an apartment building. He has 3 levels to the building, and each level is going to be building 2 apartments. And I asked him, how much would you rent out one apartment? One apartment is just 2 rooms. 2 rooms, a kitchen, a little living space, and toilet and bathroom. And he said he'll be renting it for 30,000 a month. For those of you who are good at calculations, calculate that. 30,000 a month he's going to rent each apartment in one building. And tell me how much this young man would be making a year. And it's all because he said to me, it's because my people are coming and they will need housing. So houses, new places are being built because we are coming, and because they know we will want beautiful homes, and we will want you understand, places that are beautiful to stay, right? So in their minds they are building towards that. They are putting in making it beautiful, and it's a new building, so they're going to rent it out for this amount and for that amount, and for the year he's going to be making, if I counted it right, for the year he's going to be making $1 million for a year on a building. Because each apartment, if I counted it right, 30,000 times 12, each apartment will bring him in at least $350,000 for the year. And you guys know me, I will be counting it. So 30,000 times 12, I was even wrong, $360,000 for a year on just one apartment in that entire apartment building. So that apartment building, as I said, it has 3 floors, 2 apartments on each floor. So that's 2 for 6 apartments. If I multiply this, 360 by 2 for 6 apartments, 360,000 times 6. For the year, he's going to be making $2.16 million, and he has started building it, and that's the amount that he's looking for in his mind, because he knows he's of a surety that he's going to get it, because we the diaspora are coming and we want beautiful homes. We want we are used to all this luxury and all this beauty, and we'll be able to afford it because we have the monies. Enough of this rumbling on with me. My solution to this is for us who are here, as I said already, is to begin to say no to those house prices. And those of us who are coming to the Gambia, right? Those of us who are coming to the Gambia, when you get here, you negotiate house prices. The agents, they don't care about whether you have money or not. All they care about is that they get their commission. The landlords put a price on their houses. The agents have to rent out those houses for them. They get their commissions and they go home. That's it. They don't care if you have money or if that's all the money you had or whatever. The landlords don't care either. All they know that they are giving you their house and you pay them their monies. And what's sad and what's irritating too is that when you pay them those monies, you don't see them for the entire year. And if anything goes wrong and you begin to call the agents to come and fix this or to come and fix that, they don't show up. So if the roof is leaking, you would not see them until the next year that you have to pay your lease again. If you have leaking taps and you need a plumber, of course it's you that have to go and look after that, because we are not in North America. The landlord is not going to send a plumber to you. You have to go around looking for a plumber to fix it. But if it's a major thing like, how are you, my sister? If it's a major thing like roof leaking or the water heater just stopped working or you know, something major that the landlord has to fix, they don't care. And if you move into those houses in the summer when there's no rain, when there's not summer, when there's no rain, if you move into those houses, obviously you will not know whether it's leaking or not. So when rainy season comes and it starts to leak, the landlords don't care. As I said, I'm giving it to you straight, they don't care. You will not see anyone come to fix a leaking roof. And I know, because we've been in our apartments in dry season and in rain season, and we have a leaking roof, and we've been there and we've been asking for it to be fixed. Nothing. Right? So the landlords don't care about you until it's time for you to pay them the next year's money. So it is your right to negotiate and say, I will not pay that amount of money for a house, especially if you are just coming in and you don't know anything about the house. You're just coming into it, dry season, rainy season, you don't know what's going to happen. And the houses, as I said, have been there for so long. Some of them have been locked up. The only reason why they are open now and on the market for rent is because we are here. I'm not trying to be negative about it, with the landlords wanting to make money off of their house. After all, they paid lots of money to build their houses, right? Beautiful homes, most of them beautiful. But for the Gambia, it shouldn't be at that price. And the reason why I'm saying it is because the locals are saying it. I've heard locals who are not even here, Gambians who are not even here in the Gambia, who are saying that those prices for those houses that they are asking for, those houses, are ridiculous. So the solution is, and also we the YouTubers, so we all can do something about it. We the diaspora YouTubers, even the Gambian YouTubers, help your people and plead to the diasporas who are coming in to not rent, not just accept houses and rent costs from those landlords. Ask everyone, and that's my plea to YouTubers to talk about this, because not only we are coming in, and as I said, we have the money and we see it as wow, like we cannot understand how 1 month rent over there is a whole year rent here. So to us it's like, you understand, we just roll it and enjoy ourselves, right? So we have created this, but I'm pleading with every YouTuber, every diaspora who is a YouTuber, to ask your audience, your YouTube family, to begin to see that as a solution, not only just help us, but it will help the local community, and hopefully it will wake up those landlords to understand that they can't go any more doing this. Because if we don't stop it, if it doesn't stop, it will get worse. If it doesn't stop, it will get worse. Those of us who are our brothers and sisters who are not here yet and who are thinking of coming, by the time they get here, the price that they saw in my time when I was looking at houses, which is 2,000 a month, 250 Canadian a month. By the time they get here, it will be 500 and something Canadian a month, even 1,000 Canadian a month. Because it's going to get worse if we don't stop it, and we have the power to stop it. As YouTubers, say to our people, those of us who are here and those of us who are coming in, and as Gambians, also saying it to also encourage Gambians who also are coming from away, who are coming back here, right? And who see themselves having the money to do it. We could also be talking to them. And even those who are here also, who are looking for places and crying out that everything is so expensive that they can't even find places to stay. So we all can do our part. We all can do our part and say no to those high prices, housing prices, housing costs. It is ridiculous, my people. It is ridiculous, and we all can do something about it. I'm going on and on. If you guys have noticed, when you see I'm talking about something, I become so passionate about it. You see me there and you think I'm talking right now, and you swear I'm talking to my children. Or I'm some kind of teacher I'm talking to a classroom. Oh God, I'm just too much. Yes, my people, but it is something that is so serious in order for us to help the locals and also help ourselves with house pricing, so it doesn't, so we're not going to be saying this year, imagine if it's like this year, next year will be worse. No, We cannot just say that next year will be worse, because if we do, we are still able to afford it. But what about the locals? If they can't afford it this year, next year will be worse. What is going to go on? What is going to happen? Where you will get crimes, and Gambia will no longer be a peaceful place, because people will go hungry and people will be all over the place. I'm not instigating it. That's not the reason why I'm saying it. So don't you dare, those of you who think that you could just go into people's houses because you think they come in with monies, right? Stay put. If you want your legs to still be connected to your bodies and your hands to still be connected to your shoulders, you understand? Stay away from people's property, right? But I'm saying, if it's that bad now where housing is concerned and people can't find housing or cheap enough, affordable places for them to move in, imagine what's going to happen next year. So we refuse to say that if it's like this year, it's going to be worse next year. We have a solution, and I think what I just said is a solution. So we make it happen. My YouTubers, my people, the diasporas who are coming here, and we have YouTube channels. Let's stop putting it out there that, oh, it is so affordable for housing, because it's no longer that way. And what we should be putting out there to our subscribers. I only have 526 subscribers, and I shouldn't even say I only have. I have 526 lovely people who are following me. And if they all hear this message, right, that's 500 plus people who are going to come here if they are not yet here in the Gambia, and who are going to negotiate pricing for house rentals. So I plead with my other YouTubers to not put, to begin, if you are in that place where you're going to be, I'm not even going to, after my time, I'm not even going to be showing houses anymore. This house is for rent and this house is for rent. No, it's ridiculous for me to be showing a house, 3-bedroom house for rent for $500,000, a 2-bedroom house for $300,000. I'm not going to this anymore. I'm no longer going to be showing houses on my channel. That is why I stopped, because it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. If I see a house that makes sense, you show me something that looks good and it looks affordable. 150,000 or even 200,000 is the highest I will go to promote somebody's house, to promote a 2-3-bedroom house. And that way, people are able to afford it. Even the locals maybe will be able to afford it. You have a room and parlor, and you can rent it out for $2,500 a month, or even $2,000 a month, the last. And locals will be able to afford that. Maybe even less. Come on, people. Come on. The house is already there. It's not like they're going to be running away anyway. And when we come in as the diaspora, we're not coming here to keep renting. God forbid, I don't think anybody will come here and live here for how many years? 10, 20 years, not even 5 years. You should come here and want to keep renting. Because that money that you're renting, you could build something small for yourself. We don't have to all live in mansions. You could build a tiny house, buy a piece of land. I did post about the land that we have for sale at Piram for $65,000 Dalasi. Mohammed is the agent on that land. $65,000 Dalasi, that's about 2,000. It's not even 2,000 US. It's about 1,300 US, 1,500 Canadian. That's what I think about that amount. But it's just 65,000 Dalasi, less than 2,000. And then you build something small on it. Especially if you here on your own, or it's just you and your husband. You build something small on it. There's no shame in that. You understand? What we need to start doing as a people is begin to think more outside the box, and stop thinking that what we are being shown in everybody having mansions and all these things, that is what life is about. It's not. All we need a house for is a roof over our heads. That's all we need. A roof over our heads, somewhere to relax, a room for us to sleep, kitchen. You understand? And your kitchen and that room to relax will be in the one same room. Or that room to relax in your bedroom could be in the one same room, and you have a toilet. What more do you want? All right, and if you are able, don't get me wrong, if you are able to afford your mansions, go ahead. But for those of us, which I always say, those of us who are not able to afford mansions, don't come here thinking that you're going to stay here 2, 3, 4, 5 years renting when you could buy a piece of land, as I said, $65,000 Lassie, and you build a tiny house on it, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, depends on how many people are with you, and you live comfortably. You enjoy the outdoors. You build on your land at a way that you can enjoy the land, enjoy the place, and enjoy and be free from debt, be free from stress, be free. You understand? I don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm reaching anyone with what I'm saying, or if I make any kind of sense. But the only thing that I want you to take from this video is a solution to what is happening. And we can do something about it. We, the diaspora, can do something about it. The YouTuber diasporas can do something about it. The Gambian YouTubers can do something about it by spreading the word that enough is enough, and we are not going to be renting houses for the price that the landlords are quoting to us anymore. Not saying anybody out there to fight with any landlord, but begin to negotiate prices and bring back housing prices where it used to be for everyone. All right, hope that gets somewhere. And I thank you so much to this gentleman who commented, and I just had to think of your statement over and over from since you said it. Even though my comment was, no, how can it be us bringing up prices? But when I thought about it, it made perfect sense that we are the ones who have, it's not through our fault, we are the ones who have allowed the landlords to become greedy, because all we said is that, wow, so affordable, wow, you understand? And they just took that and ran with it, and are becoming greedier and greedier in how the amount of money that they are asking for their homes, right? So guys, I love you guys so much. All my subscribers, I thank you so much for being here, and I pray that you are in the best of health wherever you are watching this video. I pray that you are in the best of health, and I pray that you may continue to stick with us, because I appreciate you watching my videos. All right, so take care, bye bye, and spread the word.
When your time comes, don't postpone it. When others down and out, you don't condone it. Truth be told, yourself is your toughest opponent. When your moment comes, grab hold and own it. Never let go, stand tall and hold tight. Overcoming obstacles is the objective in life.